It actually happened. Oh my God. Aliens are from our oceans, confirmed today in the Oversight Committee hearing, a live stream that was broadcasted all over the world. The 4 witnesses, which included a retired Navy commander, a rear admiral, confirmed to the Oversight Committee of Congress, hey, they are real. We have UAP materials and bioorganic materials, not just us. Every other country behind closed doors is doing a secret advanced arm race trying to reverse engineer all the technology that they found. They said they're from our oceans. We have 4K video evidence of them appearing from the ocean out of Kuwait, out of Africa, the East Coast, the West Coast, Mexico, every continent on this planet has UAP video evidence all leaving our oceans. They say it's not human, it is an intelligent, artificial, or bioorganic, but it's some type of intelligence that is eons ahead of us humans, and they've been here longer than us. What the hell is going on?
When you watch a scary movie with your dog, why would you give a dog such type of torture? Oh my God, look at the dog. It is scared for real. It has never been scared like that in its whole lifetime. Yo, if time goes is quick fast for a dog, this one was scared for almost 1 year. Look at this. Oh, can you imagine by the end of the movie? That dog had a whole week of, or maybe 2 days of extreme being scared. Look at this one. This one almost dropped their teeth. Oh my God. Good people of Earth. Do you watch scary stuff in your dogs? Try watching them with them our videos here and tell us the reaction in the comment section. You see? Oh, but I'm surprised English people dogs can watch movies and understand. You see a dog from this side of the world, for it to sit there and look at the TV is something not normal. The dog is out there doing 1, 2, 3, some here and there stuff. You see, some dog things. Go and hang out with the neighbors' dogs. Hey, English people, your dogs are very privileged. This one even have some clothings. Yo, its deep is more hot.
I only have 2 thoughts on the underwater aliens. 1, if they live in the ocean, they're not aliens, they live there. They're just wet guys. 2, do they think that we're aliens because we're like above them in the sky? Do they see scuba divers as intergalactic visitors? If the Pentagon is watching this, get back to me.
Did you know that the fake pockets on your coats are actually not fake pockets? If you've ever bought a coat before and then tried to put your hand in the pocket and thought, oh my God, why would they put fake pockets? It's because they're not fake. A lot of the times, coats will come with closed pockets, as you can see here. And if that's the case for your coat, then you just need to get some scissors and open them. If you pull these 2 pieces apart, you can see there's stitching right here. Those little white ones. You just have to take some small scissors, cut it open, and then you can just rip the pocket open. I'm going to show you right here. I take the scissors to get 1 piece of stitching. And then as you can see, there's a whole pocket hidden in here. Just take out the thread and you're good to go. If you're unsure whether or not your pocket are real pockets or you're scared of cutting it, just turn it inside out, see through here. And if it's not see-through like this, like maybe it's black, you can still take both your hands and feel the extra layer of fabric, and that's going to be the pocket. Don't walk around wondering, oh my God, why do they put fake pockets, and just cut them right open. Also, another thing, if your coat has a slit at the back, a lot of the times it will arrive sewn together at the bottom like this. So you have the slit, but it's sewn together. Please open that up. You're supposed to open that up so it can flow nicely. And that's how you uncover the hidden pockets. Hope that was useful.
So if it wasn't crazy enough that these dudes just testified before Congress under oath that there are aliens here, the comments on YouTube are freaking out about her. Because Miss Luna here does not play games. So listen to what she asks and then watch this man's answer straight defy physics.
In our previous panel, we had Grush, and he had testified to say that some of these were interdimensional beings. Can you speak on that at all?
The human body can withstand about 9 G forces for a short period of time before you suffer negative biological consequences, blackouts and ultimately redouts and even death. Comparison, our best technology, the F-16, which is it's an older platform, but one of our most highly maneuverable aircraft, manned aircraft, made by General Dynamics, can perform about 17 or 18 G forces before you start having structural failure, meaning that the airframe begins to disintegrate while you're flying. The vehicles we're talking about are performing in excess of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Gs.
And in the reports, this isn't just in the air, this is underwater too. This brought to mind a supposedly controversial theory behind the seemingly impossible movement of UAPs, if we can in fact call it movement at all. He proposed that the way we were looking at it was limited, and that rather than moving through space as we know it, that instead these vehicles travel by shifting their point of realization in the field, which to any onlookers would certainly simulate movement, but would be more aptly described as a kind of rapid, continuous teleportation of sorts. So despite physically traveling, the object technically would be stationary, which in theory would make maneuvers of this magnitude survivable for organics. Which is why her inference that they might be living craft is an astute observation, because the instantaneous acceleration reported by multiple sources far surpasses the speed at which someone could access a control panel. It doesn't move like good reflexes, it moves more like straight synapse. And the actual scariest part is that despite all this, rent is still due.
I heard that the magnetic field was actually reversed at one time.
Yeah.
In the Earth's history.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
So
north was south.
Okay, so
and
now,
south was north.
Okay, now I don't want to blow your mind.
Okay, hit me.
We're about the same. I'm a little older than you, but we're approximately the same age. When we were growing up, the North Magnetic Pole was in northern Canada. It was never where Santa is. Whoa. Okay, so Earth's magnetic pole is shifted from our rotation poles, which meant that if you were up in Canada, you couldn't use a compass to find north because it could be south of you.
That's right.
You check it lately. That North Pole has been moving, and it is now passing the North Pole on its way to Siberia.
What?
Yes, yes. And pretty soon, it'll be Putin's North Pole.
You're kidding. Yeah. Okay.
All right. The boy controls enough in the world. On top of all that, the magnetic field is getting weaker. Oh. And we think it's going to get weaker and weaker until it goes away. And then when it comes back again, it'll be in reverse because it flips every time. So, okay, so now, so we're going to lose the field, and then it will come back in reverse. Then all your compasses will point the other way. We worry that when the magnetic field goes away to flip again, this is called a dynamo effect, when it goes away and flips, that while it's not there, will it put all of us at risk?
Yeah.
So we go back in the fossil record because it's flipped before. And if you go to the points where it has flipped, there's no periods of mass extinction.
Oh.
So if it wreaked havoc, it was not global catastrophe.
Right.
So I'm not so worried about it.
Here's a fun psychological game. Answer the following questions as fast as you can. What's 1 plus 1? What's 2 plus 2? What's 4 plus 4? What's 8 plus 8? Now, name a vegetable as fast as you can. If you said carrot, your brain operates the same as about 90% of people who play this game. This phenomenon, known as priming, occurs when the brain is subtly influenced or prepared to produce a specific response. In this case, performing simple mathematical calculations steers the mind toward a straightforward and conventional thought process, leading most people to choose carrot. However, if you named a different vegetable, it suggests that your thinking remains independent and resistant to external cues designed to guide it toward a predictable pattern. This demonstrates cognitive flexibility and strong autonomous decision-making, highlighting your brain's ability to break away from the norm and think creatively, even under subtle psychological influence. This ability to defy expectations can be an asset in problem-solving, innovation, and navigating complex situations that require thinking beyond conventional boundaries. Let us know which vegetable you chose in the comments.
What is the sensitive data that you should not put into ChatGPT? You probably already know, but the free version of ChatGPT can actually train on your data. Anything you put into the free version of ChatGPT can be used for future model training and theoretically showcased to another ChatGPT user. So I think the question you should ask yourself if you're wondering, should I put this into ChatGPT, is would you be okay posting this anonymously on Reddit? In the same way you wouldn't want to post personal identifiable information on Reddit, you wouldn't want to give ChatGPT access to a credit card number or a social security number. I think generally what people are okay with posting anonymously on Reddit is a spectrum, but at the end of the day, since the free version of ChatGPT does do model training, you should ask yourself this question anytime you're using it.
I just learned that if you get a migraine and you want to get rid of it fast, all you gotta do is get as hot as water as you can handle and soak your feet in the water.
So you got a migraine that's got you questioning your life's choices. Before you dive headfirst into a dark room with an ice pack, try soaking your feet in hot water. Yup, hot water. Here's the deal. The heat pulls blood flow down to your feet like sending a traffic jam from your brain to your toes. It's like telling your headache, hey, take a detour. Plus, it's weirdly relaxing, like giving your feet a mini spa day while your head takes a breather. So next time your noggin's throbbing, skip the drama and soak those dogs. Trust me, your head will feel better and your feet will feel like royalty.
Welcome to the house that refused to sell their land for $60 million. You have rows and rows of houses, literally right up until their fence. You have their house and the exact same thing all on that side. In an interview with one of the owners, they said how all of this land used to just be farmland with little red brick houses and cottages just dotted all along. And then came a new project called The Ponds, turning previous farmland into this. Just have a look at this time lapse from 2007 to 2024. It is crazy. They're rocking 20,000 square meters, meaning you could put 50 houses just on this land. Guys, can you take a guess who's responsible for the development? I'll assume it's Battler because this development across the road by the Battler Group. The Battler Group.
You know how they like to tell us the truth right in plain sight, right? Well, have a listen to some of this.
He's not going to tell us. No. But are you that kind? Are you like the devil, daredevil adventurous? Are you like the devil, daredevil adventurous?
Once in a while I kind of dabble, but not really. Wasn't one. There's a big conspiracy theory that you're not aging because you're immortal. Is that why your movies feel like an eternity?
Well, eternity feels shorter than this.
You've seen the pictures, right? The ones that look just like them from the olden days. Now, we can't verify those are real, but it's something interesting.
How did you end up coming up with the storyline and everything? I mean, where do ideas come from? I know, yeah. Sorry, that's a very deep question. Where do they? Yeah. It came to me of just, what about a character that could punch people through the chest? Yeah. And then, what if they were half god, half immortal? And then, what if they were alive for 80,000 years? What would you do with this idea? If you do with that, and then but then he's cursed with violence. He doesn't want to be violent. He doesn't want to be violent. No, but it's in his blood. He can't die, and then he doesn't know who his father is. No.
But are you that kind? Are you like the devil, daredevil adventurous?
Once in a while I kind of dabble, but not really.
All I'm saying is it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Entertainment only, of course. I'm just here to create satirical humor to entertain you in your otherwise boring day. Have a good day.
Who knows what this means? Got a glove on a non-running truck. Cool little magic trick. But why is that happening on a non-running truck?
Everyone's out here using abracadabra like it's some silly word. It has meaning and consequences. So where does the word abracadabra come from and what does it mean? Bracadabra, which means I will create as I speak. The first known mention of the word was in the 2nd century AD in a book called Liber Medicinalis, sometimes known as the De Medicina Praecepta Saluberrima by Cerinus Simonicus, physician to the Roman Emperor Caracalla, who in chapter 52 described a malaria sufferer's wearing amulet containing abracadabra written in the form of the triangle. And the power of this amulet claimed that it would heal you from the suffering. So when you see abracadabra written in the triangular form, you're literally spellcasting. And this is the history of the word as well. The word abracadabra is believed to have originated from the ancient Aramaic phrase avracadabra, which translate to, I create as I speak. Abra, the Aramaic equivalent of the Hebrew word avra, which means I will create. Kadabra, the Aramaic equivalent of the Hebrew word kedobar, which means as was spoken. Other theories about the origin of the abracadabra include, it comes from the Hebrew phrase ebra kadabri, which also means I create as I speak. It comes from the Aramaic phrase avra gavra, which means I will create man. Did you know that abracadabra was a real word with real meaning and real spellcasting behind it? Now you know.
Okay, can you cut this Christmas tree out for me?
Why?
Just for the video.
Okay.
Thank you. And then while you do that, will you start cutting?
Okay.
Yeah. And then while you do that, will you tell the story of how we met?
Okay, so like from the beginning, like when I first messaged you, or from like
Yeah. Like how we met, like how it all happened.
Okay. So I was, how old was I? 15?
Keep cutting.
Okay. I am.
No, you stopped.
Oh. Okay. I was 15 years old when I first sent you a message on Facebook, and then you ghosted me. What?
I didn't ghost
you. Yes, you did.
Keep cutting.
Okay. You ghosted me, and you didn't respond to my messages.
Mm-hmm.
And then, why are you laughing?
Keep cutting.
Okay, so then, so then you ghosted me, and I was at 16, and then a couple years later, so no, like 7 years later, I'm going. And so then 7 years later, we went on a double date, and you were with my friend, Isaac. It's not a surprise to you. You went through this, so you're acting like you're surprised by hearing the story.
Keep cutting.
Okay. And so then you were with my friend Isaac, and I was with my girlfriend at the time. And then that's when we first met, and I thought you were going to think I was the weirdo from Facebook that messaged you in high school. Pretty good. And then, let's see.
Your cutting job or my drawing?
My cutting job. So then we went, so then 7 months went by, and then I messaged you again, and you didn't respond again. It took you 2 months to respond, so I thought you were going to ghost me again. So then you responded to me, and then we talked on the phone for like 2 hours when I was walking through the city, walking through New York. And then then we came back and we went on our first date on June 8th. And then we were married a week later.
A week?
Pretty much.
Not a week.
Okay, like 60 days later. 69 days?
Yeah, like 4 months later.
Yeah, which is insane. We could have been on Love is Blind.
Literally. We basically were. We talked on the phone for the first week we knew each other, only.
That's true. We actually did our first Love is Blind experiment before anybody else did. We were in the pods.
In the pods, your hotel room and my bedroom.
I'm confused on like what this is.
People are saying that men can't multitask. You really struggled there at the beginning, but then it really turned around.
No.
This was you telling the story. So we met, and...
What's the point?
And then I messaged you.
Whatever. I crushed that.
You
ever wonder how ancient Egyptian women achieved such perfect eyeliners 6,000 years ago? Like, these were waterproof, smudge-proof, long-lasting, 100% natural. Let me show you their eyeliner recipe. Look, it really is waterproof. First, to create that rich black pigment, we're gonna need some soot. I've tried several options for you. You can use almonds and date pits also, but cloves are easiest to burn. Heat them until they're fully blackened but not ashy. And using a mortar and pestle, we're gonna grind that until it's a fine black soot. Then for that liquid consistency, we're gonna melt some beeswax, add castor oil on top of it, slowly mix that with the soot. For an extra liquidy consistency, I add rose water to it, and you just made eyeliner at home. Let's try it on. I'm using tape because I don't normally put on eyeliner. I know my application isn't the best, but what do you think of the eyeliner? And I also heard that you can make mascara this way. Let me know if you want me to try that as well. Oh, and when you want to remove the eyeliner, just use coconut oil.
So, this happened yesterday. Apparently, there was an orb that, like, careened through Manchester Airport and then, like, launched itself into the sky, you know, at those impossible speeds they always talk about with, like, UAP drones and stuff. Here's another shot of it. I thought they'd be bigger. Like, that looks super, super tiny. It looks like a little marble. This comes hot off the heels of 5 days of UAP activity over, I think, 3 different military Air Force bases in the UK. And what's really interesting about this is that when asked to report on it, the people in charge at these military bases are like, oh yeah, we don't know what they are, and we're not worried? Okay. So now the question is, are they actually extraterrestrial, interdimensional? Are they repurposed UAP technology that maybe the UA or the UK or some other country has developed? But this is one of the clearest pictures I think I've ever seen of any UAP on the internet so far. Oh, and there is a YouTube channel if you guys want to go watch some of the footage of these, like, fleets of drones kind of hovering over these bases and watching as they get, like, fighter jets to try to intercept them, which would be weird considering how big the jets are and how tiny these drones are. Anyway, also very interesting that this guy's original YouTube page got taken down overnight and he doesn't know why. He's safe, and this is his 2.0 version of the footage that he was sharing with everybody. So anyway, keep you guys posted if I find out anything interesting or new.
Just wait till the pagans find out that all their paganism is about Jesus Christ to begin with. Most people have no idea that the Norse, the Germans, the French, the Belgians, the English, they're not originally from Europe. And when they arrived, to be sure, they brought their religion with them. When the Germanic tribes arrived in Europe and conquered the people that were there. Tuatha Danann, do you know that that literally means the tribe of Dan? The Tuatha Danann, without any stretch of anything at all, just by definition, are the tribe of Dan when they arrived in Ireland. From where? They came from the Levant, via the Mediterranean. Look how far Europe ain't. Now I know academia is going to try to crap all over everything I say, and anyone who subscribes to that tomfoolery will parrot. But unfortunately for them, I'm not making any of this up whatsoever. Now the word Phoenician here is terribly misleading, because that ain't what they called themselves, that's what the Greeks called them. Once more, Phoenicia is the land of Canaan. Now a funny thing happened in the land of Canaan about 1400-ish BC, and this is absolutely confirmed by archaeology and history. The Egyptians record all of this themselves, and you can look that up and see that I'm not making it up. You see, in 1400-ish BC, there was a new people came into the land of Canaan and conquered it. And these were known by the Egyptian as the wandering tribes of Hebrews, because they wandered in the desert for 40 years. After they were definitely let free from captivity from Egypt. How do I know that? Well, it's an interesting thing where your paganisms come from, you see. Most people just don't know. That Amun-Ra, the Most High God, was added to the Egyptian pantheon right around 1450 BC. Who introduced Egypt to the Most High God? That would be Moses. How do we know that the biblical story of the Exodus is true? Well, Egypt added a new god to their pantheon that was higher than all the gods in their pantheon, folks. Come on now. Wait, I thought the Tuatha Danann were Egyptians. Nah, they came out of slavery from Egypt. A nation that was born out of slavery from Egypt. A nation that did not exist until the Egyptians took them slaves, grew that baby in that womb, nurtured that seed in that dirt, so that it could be born a new nation. That's how these things work on earth, though people blame God that he forges swords in fires. Where else are you going to forge them? So to be sure, I'm talking about the Rus, Vikings, the Russians, modern Russians. I'm talking about the Celts and the Druids. I'm talking about the Anglo-Saxons and the Norse. The pagan mythologies of these people are not European in origin, because all these peoples come from the Levant. Now, to be sure, they definitely conquered the people that were living there when they got there. They definitely mixed in, took wives and such, colonized them. The Germanic tribes came from Israel and conquered Europe. Did you hear me? Because the land of Canaan definitely became the nation of Israel right around 1400 BC. This is recorded. Tel Dan has been excavated. This archaeological site absolutely without a doubt confirming King Solomon, King David, the split between the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. In Judges 18, the tribe of Dan goes north to the city of Laish to conquer it. The Bible is proven historically accurate all the way back to 1400 BC. Did it. Laish is named Tel Dan to this day. The city of Dan, where they held one of the golden calves as a site for worship because they couldn't go to Jerusalem because they were at war with Judah. A lot of people don't even know all that biblical history about how it all shook down, or why they're all called Jews today after the tribe of Judah. What happened to the other 11 tribes? Read the Old Testament. Or a history book. The Bible's all fairy tales. You're going to be sore disappointed carrying all that around. Speaking of where your paganisms come from, and we're talking that of the Norse and that of the Russians, and that of the English and that of the Germans and the French and the Belgians and the Romanians and the Ukrainians, and all of them came from Israel. And the religion they brought with them is recorded as being born into the world for the first time in 1400 BC as Judges 18. On the way to conquer this city, Laish, the tribe of Dan stopped at Micah's house of gods and took the pre-flood religion, the post-flood religion of the Sumerians and the Babylonians, and a Levite priest, that's the Torah, mixed it all into a new religion, and then conquered Europe with it. They also revived Assyria with it. They revived Babylon with it. They went into the Indus Valley with it, wrote the Vedas. That's what it is. Because Laish is right here on the Silk Road to China. And also they could sail much further in their boats than the Canaanites could. And so they did. Wait, which of the tribes of Israel had ships for sailing? That'd be the tribe of Dan. And so the paganism we're all familiar with. Here, let me tell you one more time. It's the pre-flood religion mixed with the Babylonian Sumerian religion mixed with the Torah. So where could these ideas possibly have come from? Well, let's start with that pre-flood religion. There was a worldwide civilization on a supercontinent filled with nations. The stars themselves are super intelligent, immortal angels, celestial beings. They have souls. Well, those fellas quit their positions in heaven, and I mean their bodies. You could kind of think of this as like abandoning yourself on the couch for hours while you play video games in that lower reality. Well, these way more intelligent than you immortal beings who can manipulate reality far beyond manufacturing video games, they abandoned their estates and came down to the earth. Why? Where'd they get this idea from? I thought that was God himself's plan. Oh. Trying to be like Daddy, I see. So let me say it real clear to the 50 of you still watching. The gods of the pre-flood, antediluvian world, worldwide civilization, are stars that quit their bodies to come down to the earth and mate with women. So the pantheon includes their offspring. The planets were angels who quit their bodies to come to the earth to mate with women and be gods. When God flooded the earth, he killed all of their offspring. Those are the demons now. But he bound the angels up in everlasting chains and threw them into hell. That's why people made statues of them. Clearly, they are not here anymore. They are in hell. Their children are disembodied, unclean spirits. But did one of their descendants survive the flood? Yes. Who was it? Ham's wife. And so the religion survived the flood as well. Ham and his wife passed it down to their children, this religion specifically. And that is the religion of the Babylonians and the Sumerians and the Egyptians. So Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives all got off the boat. Ham's descendants are Egypt, Babylon, and Samaria. Enter Nimrod and his wife Semiramis, the first emperor and empress under that religion on the earth after the flood. They add themselves and their offspring to the pantheon. Oops, Nimrod died. They bring the idea of reincarnation into the world. Don't worry, he survives. He is born again as his son Tammuz, you see. Where'd they get the idea of being born again from? All pagan religion, even from the get-go, is about God himself. It's just that some tried to be him and added their names to the story, you see. And when they got thrown in hell and the earth got flooded and reset, well, their names survived because 2 of the people on that boat followed that religion. We know that because they passed it down to their children, who made it about themselves, added their own names to the pantheon, being literally descended from the gods, to justify ruling over and oppressing the people with colonization and empires. Colonization started with Nimrod. Don't mind me, I'm preaching. I ain't putting on, this is what happens when I do. So the first religion that spread after the flood was the religion of the antediluvian world, angel worship, fallen angel worship, and Nimrod claimed to be the reincarnation of these dead gods. And when he dies, well, we know that the Father plans on manifesting as the Son, right? And so they stole that story so that their offspring could be your gods and emperors and kings and queens. Dynasties. Where'd they get that idea from? God. Where does any idea come from? It's just lower beings pretending and trying to be God. Whether you're talking about men or planets, which means wandering stars, or the offsprings of dead angels, created things trying to be God, who himself planned to manifest in the flesh from the get-go, from the start. First prophecies right there in the Garden of Eden, as Adam and Eve were getting kicked out anyway. But in 1400 BC, the Hebrews conquered Canaan, and the tribe of Dan formed a new religion from the pre-flood religion, the post-flood religion, and the Torah, which contained prophecies of Jesus Christ. And none of this symbolism is any kind of mystery to me, nor should it be to anyone at this point. And that new religion, definitely named in Judges 18, is Zoroastrianism, it's Druidism, it's Hinduism, Norse mythology, the mythology of all the Germanic tribes, China, Japan. The similarity in these mythologies are all very specific for a reason. They're all the same one. Integrated into different places politically with colonization. They found it far more efficient to mix in rather than totally re-educate. And everywhere they landed held one of those first 2 religions already, making it easy to integrate the new one. Wise as serpents they were. Tribe of Dan with that new religion collapsed the Bronze Age. And I didn't make up any of that at all, and I didn't even have to reach for it. They already dug it up.
How are the videos, my friend? Thanks for watching all this way. Lots of love and respect. I believe you have left your comment there, my friend. And if you've watched to this point, you've definitely clicked the like button there. You see? Now, my friend, for that good vibes gesture, let me share something with you here from Romans 8, 1 going down. This is from the book of wisdom. This is what it says. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, because through Christ Jesus, the law of the Spirit of life set me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law was powerless to do, in that it was weakened by the sinful nature, God did by sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful man to be a sin offering. And so he condemned sin in sinful man, in order that the righteous requirements of the law might be fully met in us, who do not live according to the sinful nature, but according to the Spirit. Wonderful. That, my friends, is food for the spirit. Wise words. Let's give thanks to our Creator, the owner of the Spirit inside us. Thank you, dear Lord Father, for this far. Thank you for the beginning and this point that we have reached. All glory and honor belong unto you, Father. Dear Lord, thank you for the blessings that you've extended in our lives through the video. I pray, dear Lord, that this viewer may see the impact, Father, in their lives. Thank you for them. All glory and honor belong unto you. As you wrap up this video, Father, be with this viewer, Father, in their daily endeavors, and be with them in everything they shall do. In your holy name, Father, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Till next time, my friend, peace and love be with you. Please check out this episode here. Good vibes there. Bye-bye.